Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. KT losing here in game number 1 in a major upset on the hands of BBQ Olivers, who got a bit of a lead and they just ran away with it.
Yeah, just really well played. Super clean game from BBQ. Sort of thing that bodes very well for them, whether they do fall into the relegation spots or not, because this BBQ is not a team to be trifled with, and we may have one very strong team coming through challengers. Chance of there being 2 teams better than BBQ, close to 0. So BBQ Olivers desperately want to avoid those relegation matches, outside chance of many teams slipping into those. A win over KT would go a long way, and it will also dent KT's hopes of avoiding the wildcard match. Congratulations to Trick, who played a really good game on the Sejuani here. Was really on the ball early. All the action in the early game went through Trick, and that was enough for BBQ to close out first the Baron, and then the game.
Yep. Excellently done. Repathing, shutting down Score.
I mean,
Just
Score
stuck around for way too long.
And it was just poor pathing from Score. That was when his ultimate was still on cooldown. Just gave up his life, and then from there, Trick was really good at being the facilitator for the Galio. The next fight, when he holds on to the Sejuani ultimate, starts off a bit comically with missing the Arctic Assault flash, but they know they have the damage to kill Yukal. They hold on to the ult, predict the hop as well. This was really nice mechanically by Trick, and from there, KT just never got a sniff back into the game.
Yep, really clean from them, and then the crucial Smite steal here near the end to get that Baron away from KT. That was pretty much their one big chance to get back into the game, barring BBQ making some critical mistake. But they did not, and they even got the steal away, so really well done by him. And KT, it's back to the drawing board for game number 2, because you kind of want to forget that this game even happened.
And roster swaps, to me, would be a good way to start that. Surely Pawn needs to come back, because they seem pretty listless. Trick hasn't had a lot to celebrate, so big thumbs up to Trick. Always a fun guy to talk to in the back.
Very cheery.
Look at this. Yukal and Score will both be playing. I thought for sure Pawn would get a look in for game number 2. I've decided not to play him after that lost series 2 series ago against KSV.
It's 3 games in a row now here for Yukal.
Needs to show us something a bit more comfortable, but if you're BBQ, surely you smell blood in the water and keep banning away comfort, because keeping Yukal away from Azir and Talia has been a winning combination in the 3 games he hasn't been able to play those champions.
Yeah. I think you start flashing the Vel'Koz, try to steer him towards it, try to get him back on that pick, because it just didn't go so well. But here we are into the draft for game number 2. Skarner and Rise going to be the first bans coming out.
If you're KT, I think you approach the rest of the bans thinking it's going to be 3 mid lane bans, and then kind of be happy if you don't see Azir Talia banned on the red side. Wait and see if there is that level of pinch, or whether BBQ are setting themselves up for a red side draft, because again, why not smell the blood in the water? Why not really force Yukal away from comfort? KT did their own hand in making that happen when they banned 5 mid laners in the series 2 days ago. This time, it's BBQ just taking away the cream of the crop.
Rise Talia so far. Saw Sion from them over on the blue side.
And now you at least have this quandary of, do they just lock in Sion at first pick for KT and put him on the Sion? No. So they'll leave open Azir, which is something he has found success on. They don't want to deal with the Sion and the fact that he can basically ignore the laning phase. How strong mid lane Sion is. KT, there's a lot open. What do they want to prize as a first pick? Because Olaf is open, they didn't get much value out of it. The Azir would be comfort for Yukal. And it looks like they're going to return to the Olaf until they finally play the mind game and prize something for Yukal. To me, this is the right move. I think getting Yukal on comfort after 3 losses in a row is the right way to go.
Yep. Camille, just going to get locked in immediately here, as well as the Sejuani. So BBQ already starting to piece together a similar comp that we saw there in game number 1. Can't get the Galio this time around, but still have some good building blocks to start with.
Wonder what the replacement mid laner will be, because both the real Galio and the imitation Galio have been banned, and of course we think of Sion as the AD Galio. I wonder what the mid lane pick will be here for BBQ. You would imagine it would be now. Could be the Corki if they just want to go for a farm lane, but Corki's been heavily deprioritized this week. If Tempt has been practicing the Vel'Koz, it's a good matchup for the Vel'Koz into the Azir. Would also be a bit of a style pick. And what about this Ziggs that they found a victory on? They're going to lock it in. Okay, so BBQ going to be playing a second game of Ziggs. The Ziggs against SKT was a real treat in a difficult game, just being able to stay out of threat range. Bomb the minion wave worked out really well for BBQ. So, a different approach to the game, but cool to see some Ziggs priority.
Now back into the bans to Kench, going to be taken away. Get rid of some of that protection there for the Varus.
You would imagine KT would ban Xayah or Rakan on the blue side.
Well, there's one of them.
There's Xayah ban to avoid Xayah Rakan being pieced together by BBQ. Braum is still up. They could let them roll back Varus Braum if they aren't too worried about that BBQ. A very power lane. Wait to see what BBQ will want to group with this, because it's a Siege comp. You could understand wanting to run Tristana, but making a Tristana comp work against Varus X is very difficult. So we'll see if KT want to ban away the Tristana, because that was the duo they ran before, and it means explosive charge into satchel charge into turret destruction if you can get through the laning phase.
Zach off the board.
Oh, the Tristana was already banned. I should apologize. That was a first round ban, so Caitlyn is looming as the likely AD carry choice in case BBQ want to go for something more creative. AD carry and then counter-picking support is how I would prefer BBQ to do this on the red side. Only reason you won't do that was if you were really taking a risky AD carry pick, but they want to deny the Braum away from KT. They show Braum and then change their minds. They go back to what I was mentioning, counter-picking support, and they will lock in the Kog'Maw.
All right, Kog'Maw, so very aggressive here from the side of BBQ. A lot of damage if they can get in position to just go ahead and dump it out. Kog'Maw, Ziggs, and Camille.
Now, I'm going to mention this. There is a very outside chance they go Ziggs bot lane and go for an AP Kog'Maw mid. There's a lot of mid laners, including Crown, have been practicing that in solo queue. Again, very outside chance of it happening, but want to mention it just because there is finally this trend to playing around with that idea.
Well, Kha'Zix going to be the pickup here for score in the end.
Very squishy lineup coming through from the side of KT.
And a Blitzcrank would fit into this quite well.
Oh, but it would be so awful for the laning phase. I don't think you can get away.
Blitzcog, if that is going to be the lane, would actually be pretty bad.
I think it's quite unlikely we will see Blitzcrank this game. Is a squishy lineup from KT. Let's see what they actually want to run, though. The side of BBQ. They're going to go for the Thresh. They're going to go for the strong laner. We mentioned counter-picking for the lane. Expected to be Ziggs mid lane and the AD carry Kog'Maw. Kog Thresh, though, a very patchwork duo. Not a lot of synergy in the lane. Safety in the late game can definitely be something prized. Worth watching the screen till 20 seconds, but probably going to be the Kog'Maw in the bot lane. Difficult laning phase against the Varus Braum.
I feel like the Kog'Maw in mid against Azir as well would just get...
You have long range, so you can actually farm very safely against the Azir, but there's not going to be a switch over. It's going to be Ziggs in the mid lane, trying something that worked 2 days ago. But the Kog'Maw Thresh, we've already seen one duo lane today, the Tristana Shen, struggle very heavily for MVP, and while it's not quite that level of being a poor 2v2, it's certainly no Varus Braum. And KT usually, in their victories in 2018, have played around Deft and Mata, having lane priority. They would want to return to that in this game.
Crazy. Game 1 was pretty clean. We didn't have any real standout moments from him, but he did his job. He locked people down with a chain of corruption. And it basically was just an auto attack into ability machine just to go ahead and proc that percentage HP damage. So it was a nice consistent job from him. If he can do that on Kog'Maw, then that's pretty scary, you'd have to say. So Ghost's going to be looking to have a similar performance, if not exceed it, here in game number 2. And Ignar, he's got the playmaker with the Thresh. He's got the protection there for the Kog'Maw, trying to keep him alive with the Lantern. Let's see if they can pull it off, because this would be highway robbery if BBQ can get a 2-0 victory over KT Rolster. KT desperately need to turn this around. Let's see if they can.
환영합니다. 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Here we are back on Summoner's Rift yet again. as we have a relatively full audience joining us here on this Saturday evening.
And from KT here, should be again around the bot lane and taking advantages where they can get them. There's some KT fans, big Smeb fans
yeah,
in the audience. We're seeing some of the Smeb 1000 kill stuff. As there we go, global fan here.
Strick, stay hydrated.
Free advice. Trick here in the jungle, but what I'd like to see KT do is take over the bot side of the jungle, try and take over the enemy blue side quadrant about 8 or 9 minutes in, and then with an aggressive play, have Varus Braum group around the minion wave, around the enemy outer turret, the Gangplank ultimate into the back line, and have Kha'Zix roam down, try to zone Kog'Maw and Thresh away and take that first brick, get the actual 2v2 laning phase into a really big disarray, and then unleash Deft Armada onto the map. That's what I would like to see KT do, because if there's ever a scenario where Ghost and Ignar are able to go even on CS against Varus Braum, that's a significant problem for KT to deal with as the game goes on.
Always a bad feel when you're a Vilcaz and do less damage than the Galio on the enemy team. See, Mata and Deft, fairly relaxed laning phase in game number 1. See if we get any of that big Mata aggression that we're so used to seeing.
It's been on Braum duty for the majority of the season. In an interview, Mata said they wanted to focus on peeling for Deft this season rather than looking for as much playmaking, even though we've enjoyed his playmaking games. Speaking of playmaking, not the greatest trade that Smeb has ever taken.
Certainly not. It's going to be Corrupting Potion charge gone. Gets a little bit of gold out of it, but Crazy there. Has the potions. He's got the Dorn Shield as well, so the overall sustain is going to be benefiting him quite nicely to start things off.
Tempt is going to very much try to dodge lane against the Azir for an Archangels, and once he gets 5 points into the bouncing bombs and very non-interactive clear the waves. But it does
anyway, pushing in, it's just going to be minefield into bouncing bomb and everything's gone.
In the early game, though, it does mean lane control to Azir and also the bot lane. So a lot of options for the Kha'Zix to path over. Wasn't that impressed by score in game 1, specifically when he gave up first blood in the game after his Ragnarok was on cooldown.
Of course, it was after we praised him for being very inventive with his pathing.
I mean, it was inventive. It was just a bad invention.
Yeah, it was a terrible invention.
Some say score inventive. It's been around long enough, Kilios.
Yeah. Another nice trade there for Crazy. Just trying to bully out this Gangplank where he can.
This is where KT wants to spend most of their attention. Bottom side Scuttle Crab, bottom side control, finding a way to actually take this turret pre-15 minutes wherever possible.
I'm trying to think of an invention that is just as bad as scores.
I'm gonna opt out of that.
Yeah. Can't think of anything good enough right now.
Right now, Crazy's taking the good end of the trades, and after winning, being close, I imagine, to winning MVP in game 1, it's once again excelling on the Camille that we should note. KT is left open for him to take a second time in a row. I'm sure BBQ felt like their birthdays came early when they could draft Sejuani Camille on the red side in the first round. And KT's prize was the first pick Azir, which is high priority for a lot of teams, but not usually first pick with what was available. Olaf actually fell through picks and bans in this particular draft.
Very high risk by KT. While being, already down a game to just hand over that Sejuani Camille. So they have to have some sort of plan to go into this one, but executing it when, honestly, your mental state is probably pretty fragile after the Kingzone loss and then losing game 1 to BBQ. Reliability certainly seems like it's getting less and less.
It's usually something I'd want to rubbish because KT had a lot of interviews in the offseason saying that they'd addressed a lot of their shot calling problems, a lot of the teething issues that held them back in the 2017 season. But you have to say that the manner in which they played against Kingzone, they weren't taking risks. They just kind of rolled over against tough opposition, and then that was always the old adage that their comeback performances after a tough series were something they struggled with. So we are seeing some telltale signs that maybe all is not well with KT. The swagger and the ease at which they picked up victories in the first round robin made it seem like a new dawn for KT Rolster, but sadly, performance like Game 1 here does feel like more of the same.
Well, back in TP coming through there from Crazy. He's got the Tiamat ready to go. Be matching up against that Sheen from Smeb. See how these trades are going to continue. And who's going to come out on top. Smeb, of course, he's got the Kleptomancy, so he's going to be keeping up well enough as far as the gold is concerned, despite being down by 14 CS. But here comes the trade. They're all going to be armed. Not going to get much. Smeb's just going to flash away as soon as he sees Trick enter the lane.
Double roam from KT on the bottom side of the map. Not going to be there in time, but unbeknownst. Very much safety first coming through from Smeb. Holds on to his ultimate through this, and actually did go for the stopwatch that does not arm till 10 minutes in the game now. Very, very rarely that rune is taken. Ghost finally getting some free time with the wave as the shop has come on for both these Rage Blade AD carries.
Be pretty happy with this here for the moment. Just trying to farm up as much as possible. Set in laning phase. We're going to be pretty good for Ghost. Wants to just stick around, keep farming up. You can see hasn't been under much pressure from Deft and Mata. Haven't really been trading HP bars too much.
And do notice that we once again recreate the Camille and Ziggs duo. That was the duo that they ran with their first Ziggs game, and that is when, in the late game, Ziggs almost one-shot bang.
They just really love things exploding into the Hextech Ultimatum, whether it's the Galio or the Mega Inferno Bomb.
I think this like guarantees one of the reasons why Camille is so prized is that it's very difficult to disengage her. There is definitely in this game the Emperor's Divide, which is one of the better tools at disengaging a Camille. But you do worry about that Ziggs late game damage because Archangel's Death Cap, a very high damage build available to the Ziggs, and it's over a 1 AP ratio in the center of the ultimate in the late game. I mean, tremendous amounts of damage. I would say the overall AP values that players are able to hit have never been higher than right now because there's so much different amp on AP. Death Cap has been around forever, you know, Zhonya's Ring into Death Cap, but now has Infernals and things like that.
Trying to force Ghost out. Chain of Corruption coming in. We'll get the cleanse out of Ghost.
Weak laning duo, as we mentioned, but notice that Kha'Zix's not here to actually push this over the edge. They're not using the Gangplank ult either. They don't actually end up getting massive chunks of damage onto this turret. They only manage a little chunk.
Trick in the meantime hovering up around the top side. They have this control ward thrown down. Smeb still holding on to the barrage. And Score is waiting nearby. See Trick not liking the situation. He's just going to go ahead and peel back. Score pushes forward. Crazy still up front here. He's going to get slowed up. Takes a hook shot out. He will remain safe for the moment.
Makes the right read. Crazy very clearly instructing his team that he believes Kha'Zix is topside. He is correct on that. No need for him to walk up. Already up in a good CS lead. Here's Kleptomancy on the Gangplank. I was watching a bit of LPL earlier. It was the Resolve Tree Grasp of the Undying. We've only had one of those. That was Keen earlier in the season.
It seems to be pretty well agreed upon by the Koreans, at least, that Kleptomancy's still the way to go despite the nerfs.
Just so easy on Gangplank to get full value.
So well with that passive, you know?
Parlay is pretty good, it turns out. It's been one of the balance problems for Gangplank forever. The fact that it was a spell and an auto attack in kind of the best ways possible for both. But for now, Crazy, who will incidentally push because of the Tiamat, finally does start the shove, and Smeb's going to be happy to get a bit of trade damage down.
Crazy trying to go in with a hook shot, but shorts it in the meantime. Tempt, he's going to get caught mid-air. Has to flash away, but the chase in with a leap, and Score will pick up the first blood.
Really nicely done by Yukal. There wasn't many options for Tempt to give up his life. Last time he played the Ziggs, we went deathless in the laning phase. They take out the Ziggs, they go for the push. BBQ come from every direction.
Just swarming into the mid, trying to get an answering kill, but to no avail. They won't find anything. But very nice setup here, and Tempt just so close on the escape, just cannot make it out.
Yeah, interrupts the satchel charge there. Very nicely done by Yukal. Tempt got greedy. He wanted to go to the halfway point of the lane, chuck down all of his abilities, then disengage and only have a second bouncing bomb to make it happen. Very well punished.
going to be a nice little lead here for KT, something that they could not find in game number 1. It was just the dragon that they were able to get that was separating them from BBQ. But now first blood comes through. So a nice little burst of gold going into the Kha'Zix to try to accelerate this build and make the score that much scarier.
Ogmore Thresh going even in lane to the Varus. You disregard the turret damage that KT's been able to do. Here's a good news story for BBQ. Trick seems to really want to clear out this control ward.
He'll be able to get it. A lot of cutoff can't come down the river, so has to go back around the long way to rejoin Deft. So Ghost just going to be pushing this wave forward.
3 control wards invested by BBQ around the bot lane to delay the play we mentioned, the set piece play, where you use the Gangplank ultimate to zone away from the bot lane turret and try to get that down and unleash the Braum and Varus on the map. That doesn't hit the AP values to the minions as cleanly, but
still gets them all.
They'll be fine.
Rick says, those are my little raptors. And just takes them back, score, trying to get cheeky, trying to go for the invanes.
Probably going to be a very early Duskblade from Score. It's still unnerved on patch 8.4. Already has a serrated Dirk in the inventory.
Seems about right. Just mobility boots so he can just zip his way around the map as quickly as possible.
Nice thing about on this patch is that you can stay warding Trinket, and you have the ability to check wards with the Duskblade of Drakthar. So that's a very nice little thing on the patch where vision is the most at the premium. Away. We take a deep breath. We reassess where the game's at. KT with a Kleptomancy, but also kill. Gets them about 1,000 gold lead at this juncture in the game. That's fine for BBQ. Late game team fights will be very interesting to track, because usually you'd see Gangplank Azir and hand it to the side of KT.
Another hook shot there. Smith goes down to about half HP. They're going to invest the ultimatum, lock him down to the Glacial Prison. He throws down the barrage, goes gold, and Megan for Bob just a little bit too early. Hook shot not going to find him. And now Crazy has to go peeling back. TP completed by Mata as he arrives in the top lane. Won't be able to answer with a kill or turn things around, but Smeb stays alive, and BBQ still don't have one on the board.
Yeah, really sick dance moves coming through from Smeb to not die with as much was invested to try to kill him, including the mid laner throwing in the Mega Inferno Bomb. Got a lot of value out of the rune, so this time, I'd say taking perfect timing worked out for Smeb. BBQ back away. That was their big play to try to increase the pace of the game.
Buff started it up here. Score trying to steal that one away. He's going to have to leap into the pit. Crazy goes to follow, but can't get the stun, and instead just triggers the Rift Herald there, activates it. Now he's just waiting for the hook shot to go back over the wall.
Back away. BBQ have read the map very smartly a couple of times, though, like bringing in reinforcements with Trick when they went to check his red buff, anticipating that Kha'Zix would be there. Not sure how much vision they had at the entrance, but it was a very nice play. Crazy returns to top side. Gangplank in his usual spot, about 20 CS behind. But yeah, as I was mentioning about the late game, there's always the chance it's, especially if Emperor's Divide is down, you just instant kill Deft or Yukal with the ultimatum, one round of Q, and the Mega Inferno Bomb. So there is that reliability that gives you a bit of pause. With KT's comp in the late game, it's very, very squishy. Only Mata can face check. That Score is fully abusing his R evolve first.
We saw how difficult it was just to pop the Guardian Angel on Crazy there in the last game. So if you can get to a similar state, then yeah, I have to agree with you. Just gets the lockdown there onto Deft, and goodbye, good night for the Varus.
KT controlling the wave, but not to any lead. Look at this. Ghost has actually gone for very early Merc Treads for a bit of reinforcements. Maybe that means Wit's End is not coming this game. See if he just tries to get away with that amount of magic resist. And you look at the enemy team, the magic resist you get from the Wit's End is deprioritized in this game. Not quite the triple AP we had from MVP earlier.
See, they're almost dead even as far as the gold is concerned in the top lane, so Kleptomancy helping make up for the deficit. Things stay nice and tight-knit. Not going to be as action-packed as Crazy, at least so far, as we saw from game number 1. Trick jumps forward, but Smeb's by the turret. He's going to go ahead, drop down the barrage, and KT, they're ready to scoop up a dragon.
Nice map play. Immediately as they see Sejuani, they rush straight to the Cloud Drake and taken basically instantly. That was very nice by KT. Making sure no free lunch for the side of BBQ when they try to make a map play. They can slowly solo down the Rift Herald.
Taking a little while there, but oh, interruption there. Score's gonna get popped. Mega in front of him comes down. He is almost dead, but seems like he's made it far enough away. And miraculously, somewhat there, the members of KT will get out with their lives. BBQ unable to seal the deal.
Yeah, Score caught in the shot that time. He was doing some shopping, but does not go down through all of it. They get one more further summoner away and the heal from Def to guarantee the exit. On the top side, BBQ pick up an objective, so overall, very even trade for both teams.
Good force back to base. Now they can use that Rift Herald, and they're just going to go ahead and pop it immediately here in the top lane. Try to knock this down. Hasn't taken that much damage, so going to take a bit more than the charge to finish it off.
R6 is here, walking down the lane.
They get the damage in, and if they had the Ziggs, perhaps they could try to go for it, but crazy. He's going to get jumped on that last turret shot, combined with Smep, just kills him. Big botch on the play there from BBQ. Thought maybe they could force out this turret, but Kha'Zix being there, they overcommit, and they get punished.
And it was also a great time for the Kha'Zix. Duskblade and Boots of Mobility. So knew he wasn't spotted. Great read on the map, in the right place at the right time. That's the score that was missing in game number 1. And that does subvert the game pretty substantially. So Rift Herald doesn't get much. It buys more time for Gangplank to farm. He also picks up the kill. The acceleration, the shot in the arm that KT desperately needed.
Well, that's going to put them that much further forward. 1.4 thousand gold just about now. Before it was 700, so they've gone ahead and basically doubled that. They deny the first brick away from BBQ. That gives them more chances for Deft and Mata down on that bottom side, who've already done quite a bit of work onto the turret to nail that, take it down before BBQ to get another opportunity.
Should remember that when we saw a similar comp from KT, it was SKT running the Caitlyn comp, where they got 2 early turrets but could never crack the turret from the Ziggs. That's still going to be a problem here for KT Rolster when it comes to taking these outer turrets early. And Varus and Ziggs getting to the late game because of the stall. A very nice reward for BBQ to reap. While you appreciate the good play, and it is a good sign for KT Rolster, they desperately want to increase the pace of the game. And it looks like they'll finally get this turret at 18 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they're seeing 4 members down around the bottom side. Ghost would love to just try to keep this turret alive, deny that gold away, but he just can't do it safely, even with something like the Dark Passage there from Ignar to try to take him out to safety. It's just too much of a risk, so they have to just watch it crumble. First brick, first blood, first everything other than the Rift Herald going over to the side of KT. It's also no perfect game.
Was seeming unlikely with the fact that even if BBQ fell behind, surely someone dies too. The epic dive they can pull off with the ultimatum. Smeb feels really good about walking out for free trades where he gets the Kleptomancy procs as well.
He's got the completed item. 24 is ready to go, and the Caulfield's Warhammer behind it.
I imagine he'll be opting into Yomu Sterix, which has been the common build, and either Sterix to have a hope in hell at dealing with the Camille as the game goes on. KT will want to send their duo lane to the mid lane, which would provoke Ghost and Ignar responding. But then you don't have the Ziggs basically 100% guaranteeing their mid lane turret stays up, so KT trying to invent a way to take the Ziggs turret. Yeah, this is actually BBQ being smart. They're going to send Kog'Maw to top lane and keep the Ziggs in mid, because if Ziggs is good at one thing, it's keeping a mid lane turret alive.
Yep. Wave clear endlessly to make sure that they don't get the opportunity to really even touch the damn thing. Which they have. Got a little bit of damage in, but no Rift Herald, no real threat.
EasyHoon on the bench in a meta where Ziggs is back. Could there be anything crueler, Achilles?
Ziggs and Azira both.
It's true.
Have them in the same game. Sounds like a great time for him. Ghost's going to take the very short lantern out to safety.
Necessary because of the slow and the Kha'Zix coming in. Yukar getting a couple of autos in, but still Ziggs. Now he has blue buff, so even more problems to deal with. We didn't mention this, but it's triple unsealed spellbook on the bottom side for BBQ. So going for some changes, and as you can notice, it's triple cleanse as well. To respect any full all-ins.
Oh, Yukal going to be whiffing that Emperor's Divide. Crazy gets himself out to safety. He holds on to the flash crucially.
That's the best delay tool when it comes to answering a Varus, who was likely to be roaming first after taking down the turret.
God, look at that.
I prefer not to. Let's up top lane.
The bouncing bomb cooldown is ridiculous. They really need to add like a 0.25 or something to it. Even it out a bit.
Tempt is so conscious of the health gain on the minions, gone double blasting wand to try to get as much AP as possible.
He's still feeling feisty. Waiting over the wall, he's going to come in. It's one attack on Crazy, but yet again, hook shot. He's K.
Guessing Leandri's going to be the next item for the Ziggs with its budget Death Cat build. No double needlessly large rod this time, but double blasting wand.
Oh, Smeb. Can he survive this time around? Glacial Prison not going to hit. Smeb goes over, flashes out of the box, in fact. But yeah, he's got nowhere to run, and Ghost is going to find the kill in the end. Decent juggling there, as the Mega Inferno Bomb will be used in the bottom side to get all three of those nice caster minions. Saves the turret.
Such as Ziggs. The top lane turret dive had to be well done because the chance of a turnaround double there is very possible.
A lot of finding trick. Ghost firing away at the turret. Seems like BBQ will be able to claim there first. As the Lantern, just for the backup, gets himself out of there. But Score is adding the second Drake of the game to the side of KT. So double Cloud going over to them, and an Infernal will be the third.
Definitely what you want to see is BBQ when you're making the three-man play on the top side. Understanding you give up Drake, but double Cloud. It's really only good for target acquisition. Deft is going to be one of the happiest people here. So on patch 8.4, so we don't have the in-combat Cloud Drake that will be greeting us on patch 8.5. So only about the initial movement speed out of combat.
About finally getting an upgrade. Feels good.
I mean, right now, with the buff, it might actually be much, much higher on the scale. Combat movement speed is one of the hardest stats to pick up. So having that, 3 Cloud Drakes with an Eldo is going to be very, very powerful to get those extra autos that specifically 80 carries have always craved. I guess Ocean Drake after the first spawn is now going to be the thing you look at ironically and wish it was something else.
BBQ, we'll see where they want to go from here. Tied up as far as those turrets are concerned. Got 1 kill on the board, but they're still behind by 2,000 gold. Which at 23 minutes, not too bad. Certainly is a recoverable amount. But how they want to approach doing that is the real question.
Morellonomicon Leandris, my read on the build is the Oblivion Orb has been picked up by the Ziggs. So Death Cap is going to be delayed. Could still be a Void Staff as a third item as well. As Ziggs is still doing Ziggs things. Way to stop Ziggs doing Ziggs thing has always been the buffed Baron.
Oh, Mata getting caught out here. The box is going to come down. It's got the Unbreakable to try to stay alive. Flashes away from the bouncing bomb. It seems like he will be able to make it out. Trick barely escapes. Just a scrap of HP left on his bar. No one dying yet again. He's got a Warmog, so he's fine.
He'll be fine. The Satchel Charge wasn't behind Mata, so they weren't able to get any further damage. Probably wouldn't have killed him anyway, and Deft's able to keep his heal up. They get both Summoners out of Mata, but notice that Trick does not use anything. Like you mentioned, is still on the map. Ghost has gone for a very early teamfight build, going for the Hurricane second.
Cal feeling pretty in the zone, it would seem. Very far forward. Aggressive play from him, just getting those autos in onto the turret.
AT have now punched in the fact that taking mid lane turret is difficult, so they want to take out a turret and try to play a Baron game to draw BBQ out of position from what is one of the strongest comps possible to keep a mid lane turret up. So that's the way that KT is interacting with what is the endless stall from the Ziggs in particular. So many control wards. They actually control basically everywhere around mid. But turret diving the Ziggs as Archangels available. Probably going to be very tricky.
Got quite a many few there. It's going to come through onto
Crazy.
Crazy. Now Score is coming over. That's going to be the ultimatum thrown down. He wants to just try to outduel Smeb, but with the arrival of the Cossacks, cannot do so, can't bail out. Another kill goes over to KT. Smeb now 2-1-0. Score as well, 100% kill participation.
It's on the bottom side of the map, so what can they get for it? They're looking to actually walk onto the Baron, clear Baron vision. They desperately want to find a way to get Ziggs out of mid lane to stop him going for the endless stall. He's going to throw over an ult, such as Ziggs.
Boop.
It really does feel like it's 2014 and we're watching SKT T1S. Although I'd be on the stream and Monty Doe will be casting.
This is true. But they're gone.
They are gone now. Undersight took them, as it takes everything we love.
I'm still here.
And
I figured out the balance.
And look, KT is still here as well, Achilleo. So there's two things we can be excited about, and then swiftly depressed about.
Yeah.
Nice synergy there.
Where was it in game 1?
Well, Temp doing his best, budget easy hoon, clearing all the minions. I think he also used Mad Scientist as a skin, so bringing it back.
Zig's back, the Xerath's back. We're just going classic. We're just gonna revert everything.
Where's my impact?
Let's go back
He
to
could be back.
That's true. No. He's busy getting paid.
Hey, he left LGD theoretically not being paid.
Oh, I thought you said Impact for some reason.
Imp.
Yes, Imp as well. As we see that Glacial Prison coming in. He's also, was getting paid. Score hovering. Sees Frickin' Ghost, pushes forward. And says, nah.
Doesn't have as much backup as he might want. Temp continues to delay. He's at level 16, so his side lane clearing is going to be powerful. And this needs to be the place. KT need to find a way to take this Baron. They need to get vision on the top side without the mid lane turret. They're trying to threaten, but Ziggs can just ult the wave.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. So forcing this one up a little bit here as Smeb goes in from behind. Gets a bit of damage down, but that's about it. The turret still stands. Isn't this exciting?
It is, it is Ziggs. It's a reason why you get excited about the first Ziggs game, but you never want the Ziggs meta.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember how excited we were a few
meta.
years ago when Teemo got locked in 2 weeks in a row in the
That's
LCK,
true.
and it's like, Teemo's there, and everyone's meme, it's top of Reddit, and then you play the game, and oh wait, Teemo is actually a really toxic gameplay loop that isn't really fun, no one ganks the lane.
That's why we banished someday to North America.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here.
And Shy had to retire.
Yeah, see?
Years later.
This is what happens if you lock in Teemo.
Well, that bodes really poorly. We actually want to keep Tempt if possible. He's really good.
It's a Yordle, but it's not a Teemo.
I'll take Ziggs over Teemo.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree with that. And while it might be slow, I'm just happy to be back. It's almost been 10 days since I got some good old League of Legends action. Score, he's just going in. He's rushing down. Barrage comes through.
They really want to get a pick, or at least force them to walk away from the damn mid lane outer turret.
That and the Infernal Drake here as well that has spawn.
Finally, a Drake that they're looking for.
Hook comes down, Unbreakable's up, the box gets invested, they get the Chain of Corruption down here, on to Crazy, he's gonna get pushed back, he goes in with the ultimatum, locks in Mana, who is still alive, Mega Infernal Bomb hits absolutely no one.
And with that on cooldown, Infernal into mid lane outer turret could happen here, releashes, so it'll take a little bit longer. They have 28 seconds on the teleport timer from Crazy. Let's see what they do here, BBQ. If they send too many people topside, this mid lane turret's going down.
KT, yeah, Infernal Drake coming through. A good thing to deny away from BBQ, especially with that Ziggs and the Camille. Would love to have that extra AP.
Well, KT will put everything into taking mid lane turret. I think if you're KT, you have the Braum walk up and tank the bouncing bomb. We'll watch the replay. The hook is on Tamada, but previously they used everything, all their pick CC to delay. As this was happening on the top side, Crazy caught out. Nice little streamer shuffle coming in from Yukar. Good use of the ultimate. They take him down. They can't get advantage of the Mega Inferno Bomb. We managed to fully disengage. More AP onto Tempt. Potentially more delay. As KT Rolster don't actually get a meaningful objective outside of the Inferno.
BBQ still holding on as best as they can, but old lead has been growing, and Crazy is getting pinched on yet again. Tries to dash away, but Score has him cut off. He's down to half HP already. Tries to trade it back, knows that there's no escape. Just wants to try to get even close to a kill, but he is so far from it. He'll go down yet again. This has been a polar opposite game for Crazy on this Camille. 0-4-0.
And now they have a lot of free time around the Barons. Let's watch BBQ.
The hook coming in. Ignar goes over the wall, looking for the lockdown there on Amada, but yet again, he's just so tanky. Has the stand behind me. Jumps to the side. Will stay alive.
Zia's topside, considering his options. Ghost has to be careful. He gets to lane. He shows himself. They're getting advantages to one place that BBQ won't be as concerned in the side lane.
Well, Mega Inferno yet again comes through, but it doesn't clear out the
Going for
entire
the dive.
wave. Looking for it as they pinch in from the backs. It's going to get slowed up, and they finally break this turret 30.5 minutes into the game. They do take the third one, and bot lane is under fire. Minions might just be able to take that out.
You're right about that, Achilles. So big for KT to finally take the mid lane out of turret, as Ziggs did his Ziggs thing till 30 minutes in the game. Baron the next thing on the checklist. Now they have the turrets down. They also have the latitude to put down vision. Remember, they only have one real face checker, and that is the Braum. They're starting off the Baron anyway. Trick doesn't have a control ward to put over. Waiting for Thresh to get there. He has 3.
So no Baron yet, but I feel like this is right in KT's grasp, essentially. BBQ going to push forward. They're cleared out. They're going to start this up. They have the Kog'Maw, and the Azir is all the way back in base.
They're out of position here at KT.
Oh boy, is this going to be the thing that upsets them?
They got it!
That's going to be the Baron going over to BBQ, but can they make it out with their lives? Dash over the wall, Arctic Assault does take Trick out. Barrage is slowing up several members. Going to be looking for this. Double flash comes through. Trick flash is just a bit too late. Still gets slowed up. It seems like he's going to pay for this one with his life. He goes down, but this is still potentially 4 Baron buffs over to BBQ. Flash to the side from Ghost takes him out. BBQ, they just take that from right out under KT's noses.
That was the sort of play they made against SKT. Really decisive Baron call using the Mega Inferno Bomb to guarantee the pickup. Sort of Baron that would have been felt impossible for them to claim with how little map control they had. They will lose some turrets where they do lose 4 flashes. KT has something to return to, and that's putting down deep vision and catching a BBQ team with no flashes outside Ignar. If you're wondering, I believe Ignar double changed to get his flash back up. You are able to do that with the Unsealed Spellbook, change both your summoners. Then, of course, have to remember you no longer have the F flash, you have a D flash now.
The way that it was intended to be.
Oh, we should not open this can of worms. I already talked about whether people enjoy Pugmore or not, and liken that to politics. I don't even know what you would liken Dlash or F for Flash to.
I'd say that it's probably something along the lines of pineapple on pizza.
I would go so far as to say religious beliefs, which is another very testy topic.
That's true.
So
we won't go there.
No. And that's why we will not speak about Flash again here.
I've said my piece. That's it. Don't at me. Minion wave pushed into the turret there in mid. Wave clear from the Azir. Going to be weakened a little bit by the Baron empowered minions, but overall still going to be good. But now BBQ, they're getting wrapped around on Temp goes low. He tries to go over the wall, but he can't do it. He's going to get popped. Score. Finds the kill. They take down Ghost as well as Ignar. And just like that, after the Baron takeaway, BBQ, they throw it all out the window.
What are you doing, BBQ? You have no flashes. You just used all of them to get the Baron. They just throw it away by making a play in the enemy red side jungle. Stay in the mid lane, ward your flanks, and be safe. No safety there, but they might get an exit kill on Mada.
All right, well, at least there's something to feel decent about. They get the kill there, but Smeb is pushing forward fearlessly, has the Guardian Angel, and would love to kill Trick. In the meantime, the pushes are coming through from the Varus, from the Kha'Zix.
Oh!
Crazy goes in, gets a big burst damage onto the Azir, but can't finish him off. Trick goes golden, but he's going to get popped, and Crazy, I don't know if he can win this duel because of that Guardian Angel.
Waiting to see. He doesn't really have the option to disengage. Too much follow. He's dead.
He is just going to get taken out. Ultimatum comes through. He gets the shield. Smeb tries to stay alive into this one. Hook shot comes through, and he's just going to die.
Shoots him where he stands. And a lot of things have happened in the meantime. Deft and Score have been pushing through the bot lane. They break the base. All of this was avoided. Let's watch the replay till ages ago. Remember, they used all flashes to get the Baron. Only Ignar has it from double changing his summoners. And they go for this aggressive invade between turrets. They don't even have the bot lane outer turret.
Yeah.
They have nothing. They walk into the enemy jungle. Why not roll through mid lane, double control ward your sides, and have a Thresh with flash to try to disengage for the Kog'Maw? That was an option they had. Instead, they went for a very high-risk play that had a very high chance of failing. And that, unfortunately for BBQ, loses a lot of the momentum that the Baron take was able to get. They're actually now 13,000 behind in gold.
Yeah, a negative Baron power play coming through, and the Baron buff is now gone.
Oops. I guess it's really all you can say there for BBQ.
Yeah. Man, what a botch this entire game, too. 9 kills behind. Infernal Drake's there for KT. Ocean Drake, for the hell of it, at 35 minutes.
Just trying to get the Elder to spawn. Will be coming quite late, around 41 minutes.
It'll be 4 stacks, if we even make it to that point. BBQ do have the Zig, so they can hold out for quite some time.
To some degree. Again, the difference between 2018 and 2014 is that the Baron now is, you know, the minions are much more resistant to magic damage, so you can't just wave clear on command.
Oh, well, yet again, Mata's going to be the one getting hooked, and this time he actually gets blown up. BBQ trying to exit with their lives. They'll find Ignar locked up. He flashes away, gets the shield down, makes it back into the base, but they have these super creeps streaming in that they have to deal with, as well as an exposed inhibitor in bot. So BBQ, they get the pick, but there's nothing really that they can do with it.
And KT's play plan needs to be stay in the enemy red side jungle with control wards, just like they were doing. Be a little bit more respectful than Mata was showing, but the same idea, because if you spend the next 5 minutes in there, you best believe there's going to be no vision from the enemy team around Baron, and then your fallback Baron to close the game will be real. So owning the red side jungle of BBQ is KT's current objective, because the Baron spawns before Elder, and it's the next step in the checklist to close out the game. It's actually 2 minutes till the Baron comes up.
KT are prepped, and they are trying to bait. Barrel already laid down. Ignar just going to take almost half his HP. Now knocked down to half. Piercing arrow. Tickling him on the way out.
Went for Hextech Flash this game as well. Hard to make that work as the Thresh, but obviously if you're winning, you can just go over to the Raptors and flash over with the Hex Flash.
Now he can go over to the Raptors from the mid lane and try to escape.
Yes, try to is the operative term there. Edge of Night completed by someone in the LCK for maybe the first time this season. As actually,
oh my goodness, yeah.
Onto Kha'Zix.
It's been a while.
Does help him face check Brush, so it's definitely a long cooldown just to face check one Brush, but given that they have no one else bar the Braum, not the worst item ever, it might be our first of the season. Still waiting for our first Ohm Wrecker, but we've had close to every other item. KT returned to the scene of the crime. They took down this turret a while ago. Seeing BBQ around this objective also means less likelihood of there being anything. This Ghost takes a huge chunk from Smeb.
The GP, very scary. Part of why we saw this banned away by BBQ in game one, but didn't get the opportunity this time around over on the red side.
See if BBQ can find a way to stop Baron being a formality for KT. The first Baron take they made was decisive, was great to see. They have much less rope now, and KT just standing in basically every brush with massive damage. See the wards they have. Just let them know that the bait is on.
Temp has those double needlessly large rods in the inventory.
Score doesn't walk up and spot the ward on the red buff, so that continues to let BBQ know they're safe.
Rabidons would be quite good here for BBQ. Comes down to trying to burst somebody. It's been such a big delay from him.
Trying to pick up the minion wave. This is smart from KT. They follow Yukal. BBQ way out of position. Third turret goes down.
Yeah, Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. Doesn't do that much damage. Not enough to pop somebody. Crazy. Getting zoned back by the Cannon Barrage. Has to go to the fountain. And it's like it's just going to be the third inhibitor taken. They get the lockdown there on Amada yet again. It seems like everything is just magnetized to him as he's the one taking all of the hits. But he manages to stay alive, but now it's a very aggressive TP here from Crazy. Moves over the wall to get the lockdown on the score. Ultimatum comes in. He gets dragged back through as Crazy goes golden, but they still haven't killed the Kha'Zix, let alone pop the GA. Trick flashes away, barely stays alive, but a double kill gets delivered right into the lap of Smeb. Pops 2, pops 3. Can he get more? I think the answer is going to be no, as Yukal very comically gets taken down by the Acathian surprise. And we'll be able to answer one as well onto Mata, and seems like that might delay the game ending. But KT still very much in control, and seems like they will be going for this as the TP comes down.
Going back with the gangplank, they still have a lot of damage. They want to close it here.
Super Creep's pushed up, turret taking a ton of damage from these. Temp trying to clear him out as best as he can. Has to direct all of his abilities onto the Creeps rather than the attacking KT members. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but it's not enough to get rid of the Super Creeps. It seems like we're going to game 3. KT not going down without a fight. They know that they need every single win to try to overtake the Afrika Freak. Smeb just wailing away. Will take down that Nexus right as they lose the Varus in the end. But KT, they come out swinging here in game 2, and BBQ, you kind of have to wonder what happened. The form from game 1 completely gone.
KT return to the Kha'Zix and make some good decisions. They're able to single out Crazy a few times, and Smeb had a lot more fun this game than they did in game number 1. Very interesting game to think about, as BBQ's Baron take to get the first Baron of the game was really smart. They used all their summoners to do it, and then basically threw their advantage away around the enemy red buff. Then there was a 13,000 gold lead and a scaling advantage, so things became trickier and trickier for BBQ to play. So one smart decision from them, but you're right, a far-flung future from what we saw in game number 1, and now we get that best of 1 for KT Rolster to pick up the match victory and condemn BBQ again to that outright 9th spot, and once again, the extra likelihood of them playing in relegation.
Yep. We'll go ahead, get a replay right here from the end of the game. That double kill that Smeb just very happily welcomed with open arms.
And to call this desperation would be an understatement. Remember, this ultimatum play is played with a level 18 Ziggs, but he actually used ult on the minion wave. It wasn't available for this, so even plan A wasn't going to be there. So BBQ going to have to go back to the drawing board. And KT Rolster just need to find and replicate what they did in game 2, because that's the KT side, or the genesis of the KT playstyle that's carried them through the best part of 3 LCK seasons.
Well, a nice win there. Good moments from everybody on the side of KT Rolster, but now they move back to the red side, which does not have a great win rate so far here in the spring split. They need to close this out and condemn BBQ, as you put it, into that 9th place spot. We'll see if they can do that when we come back from the break.